Hey everyone, I just wanted to demonstrate this since I've been asked to. Ink staining a piece of wood. This is primarily in the market for gun stocks and stuff like that you want custom colors on, but you still want to see the grain. I already have on a pair of vinyl gloves, already selected. I'm going to try to do a basic camouflage pattern. I got a couple of different colors and about ready to go. The only other thing that you need besides the inks from me is this, which is a really dirty bottle of isopropyl alcohol. You can get it at any store, 90%. You want to go for the highest you can get. It dilutes the inks, it helps you thin them out, and you can make some really cool effects by just thinning them out and highlighting the grain. So I'm going to start with some heavy ink, and I'm going to use my hands. I'm going to finger paint it. I'm going to start with the lightest color. In fact, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use a little bit of a spread knife. I start with the lightest color I'm going to be using on this, which is a dark green, which is available. Just going to spread it on here thick as all good grief and then take it all off. Basically, I'm taking most of it right back off. Okay? And I'm going to put that back over there. Finish scraping it off. And I'm going to take the isopropyl alcohol and I'm going to take paper towel, because I've been asked if you can use that. You'll see it instantly start to beat up the ink if you leave it sit on there long enough. But I'm going to use paper towel because someone else asked me if that was possible, instead of wasting cloths. See how it's already spreading out and getting thinner? I'm going to go ahead and get another paper towel. Same thing. You could have pre-diluted it, but I just wanted to show it straight on. And these paper towels are leaving a little fuzz, but that'll come off when we finish it up. So basically we're getting it soaking into the grain. And I wanted to start with the green because that's technically lighter than the brown and black that I'm going to use. Now I'm going to start with the brown. Same thing, I'm going to cheat, I'm going to use a spread knife, but I'm going to put it only on a few places where I want it. And I'm going to take it off, take it off, take it off. You can go the other direction. You can go kind of squigglies. You can do whatever you want. It's going to be a cheap little camouflage pattern. I'm going to just throw the ink right, or the isopropyl alcohol right on the ink. And I'm just going to go real fast, certain areas. Light, you'll see the brown and the green, see how it's getting lighter already? It's because I'm taking most of the ink back off. You get a little bit of the brown, a little bit of the green left over. I'm going to add black, and I'm just going to finger paint it right on in there. See the black starting to come up? And I'm going to just go ahead and use one of my knives again and take most of it back off. Basically, then we're going to put the ink right back, or the isopropyl alcohol right back on the ink. And then take most of it off. Now it's getting really dark. We'll have to go back over it again a couple times with the green. And I'm going to get last paper towel here. And it's kind of hard to see. We got black and green, so we're going to have to add more brown. This is all just a artistic process. We got some black and we got some green going on. Just going to start adding a little bit of brown again. And we're just going to go back and use my used paper towels again. Smear it in there just where I want it. Go back, put the isopropyl alcohol just where you want to soak it up. And then rub it off again. Then I'm going to switch back to a rag. Now it's kind of probably hard to see in this camera, but I got little bits of brown, and I got little bits of green, and little bits of black, and we can highlight these by adding just a little more ink wherever we want it. We can add a little more green in places. Now again, this isn't going to make a flood coat. This isn't going to completely replace like a color, like a paint. You're still going to get your grain through it. And the more you kind of get used to working with it, I mean, you really can't mess it up. I mean, if you mess it up, just go right to black. It'll cover up everything. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to add a little more alcohol. And I'm going to take most of it off again. Kind of ended up with a mostly green. Some black highlights. Black is highlighting into the grain here. And we're trying to bring up this brown right now. This is just kind of a trial and error process. See, look at all that brown on there. And I'm going to take most of it back off again. It's just this kind of repetitive thing until you got it exactly where you want it. See, now I'm starting to get flakes of brown in there, lines of black, and I'm going to bring up a little more green. Real simple. The idea isn't to make a drawing pattern. It was to make a natural looking, blended in. See, I got dark greens, I got browns, I got blacks, and it's, again, you can then, if you don't like the way it is, you can go ahead and put more alcohol on there, lighten her back out. And then you can see you'll bring up the grain again by lightening it back out. The alcohol is going to evaporate pretty quickly, and it's not going to distort your wood, especially for harder. This is a piece of oak, so you're going to see the heavy grain in it. But if you had something nicer, like a real nice maple, or something that you have a nice custom stock with, and you want to put a really cool original finish on it, you can actually dilute this so thin before you put it on there with the alcohol, and end up flooding it on there just to make a real light, neat color. It's just going to soak into the grain. And then you can polish the top of it back off by using the alcohol again. And you can bring back up your color. And then, real simply, you're just going to go ahead and you're going to stain it with a clear coat. You're just going to cover it with a clear coat. But, well, if you wanted to add some wood color to it, you can actually put a wood stain right over top of it, too. And you'll still have the greens and stuff behind it. And it'll show up. It's a real rich color. If not, then you're just going to end up with this color here sealed into the wood. Now, this will soak into the pores of the wood, effectively sealing some of it. But you will definitely need to put a clear, I suggest a satin gloss on it. Now, if it's real thin like this, where you can get the grain real good, you're not going to affect that when you brush your satin on there, or if you dip it, or however you like to do it. However, if you want something super, super dark, like you want to develop a super dark black, let me get some of that and let me show you what I mean. If you want to get a real, real rich dark black, again, finger painting it on there. I'm just going to brush some of this off here. Go back with the alcohol. And if you put a little alcohol in it too, you can move it a lot easier. You don't need much. I mean, you basically are buying an ounce of this ink stain, and you can do a whole stock with that ounce, and you can get it dark, but I wouldn't recommend that because you're going to end up having to spray on your clear finish if you're going to get it dark like this, or else it will dilute it a little bit, make it run, not where you see drips or anything, but it'll soak it back into the grain when you add your clear, because your clear is going to slightly dilute the ink, because again, they're all oil-based, they're going to dilute. So if you make it super dark black, spray your clear in small quantities at a time, and you'll get a nice finish too that way. And if you want to spray it, if you want a super gloss, you're going to spray it anyway, because you're not going to get a high-end gloss with a brush where you can dip it, and if you dip it fast, it should be okay too. Well, that's about it. It's time for me to get rid of these gloves. Oh, and you think that looks bad? They soak through the gloves. You will get a little bit of it on your fingers, no matter what you do. Will horribly stain carpet, clothes, people, anything like that. But if you get it on your skin, Fast Orange gets rid of it pretty good. So that's about it. This stuff is available, any colors. I mean, you can get a whole wide range of colors. You can see them thinned and in solids there. Whole wide range of colors available. Basically, you're buying an ounce of it. I send it out to you in basically a bag. You can cut the corner of it and spray it and squirt it out on whatever you want. You can use ink knives, or you can use a putty knife and spread it out. You can use your fingers. You can do however you want. You can brush it if you dilute it. Be creative. All right. Thank you, everybody.